Hi everyone, this is a pick a card reading for the rest of 2020, what your love life has in store for you. So we're going to have a look with these wonderful groups, and whichever one you feel most drawn to is going to be your reading. So whether it's group 1, group 2 or group 3, again, whichever one you are most drawn to, I'm going to show them to you as well because you can't really see them too well. So this is group number 1. All right, we've got here, so this one here says actions speak loudly. Then we have group number 2 with the blue crystal. This one here says look to your inner strength. And then group number 3 here, and by the way, this one is number 11 because I know that a lot of you see 1111 or repeating numbers, so it's just something to keep in mind. And then you've got here group number 3, which says have patience. Okay, so when I was doing this, I was originally just going to leave them turned upside down with the crystals, and then I actually thought that these messages are so specific that one of them may just be calling out to you. You may be really drawn to one of these illustrations or messages, so that would totally align to perhaps your energy as well currently. So that's what we have. 1, 2, 3 timestamps are in the description box below. Definitely do check them out, and also so that you know you can click on it and then watch your reading. But the other thing here that I really wanted to mention is that definitely do check out the description box below as well for information on private paid readings, free reading giveaway, my intention bracelets, which are on Etsy as well if you're interested. So I do a free reading giveaway every single month. I also do private paid readings which are done within 24 to 48 hours of purchase, and then of course the bracelets. So I'm actually wearing a bunch of the love ones here. I'm wearing the love bracelet, soulmate bracelet, twin flame, and of course the singles bracelet as well. So these are all handmade, meditated with, they are sage, they're there to remove obstacles and challenges from different areas of your life. If you want to see the results and see how other people have seen results with these, do check out the review section on my Etsy store. There's also crystals on my Etsy store, there's teas, there's necklaces, anklets, there's also hand embroidered intention cards which you can put under your pillow, wallet or your purse. There's also pom-poms, tassels, all kinds of fun amazing stuff as well that I really enjoy making as well, so definitely do check that out. Everything's in the description box below for your convenience. Okay, so we're going to start first of all with group 1. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scoot this back a little bit. Got the candle going. And we shall begin, okay? So, let's just do this. Alright, group number 1, let's have a look and see what we have for your reading. So I am quite interested to see what messages do come out and what messages we do have for you for the rest of 2020. I am also going to do a charm reading as well. It's just something I literally just thought of right now, so I always have my charms ready and ready to go just in case, there is that sort of spark of like, oh yeah, I want to use charms. I feel like this particular reading calls for that as well. So yes, we are going to be using charms. So let's begin first of all. Okay, the rest of 2020. So at any point that you watch this, okay, you can still take on board those messages as well. We've got this beautiful white crystal, okay, and I'm just going to put that right there because it's so beautiful. It can just shine in the background. So we've got here the message of actions speak loudly. Express your love through actions. I feel like many of you already do this. You are already through actions trying to show and express to people around you, also in regards to your love life, exactly what it is that you mean. You may have said it through words and actions and just in general through how you feel and emotions as well. I think that you should continue to do this because that's what the spirit guides here are literally saying. That's so blunt of me to say, but they're like, you should continue to do this because the thing is, a real connection is never brittle. Repeat after me. A real connection is never brittle. Saying how you feel and putting in the amount of effort that you feel is necessary in a connection is never going to break a real connection. So if you feel like you're chasing after someone and they're not returning any kind of energy in return, remember that actions speak loudly. That is also them showing you in return how much they're willing to put forward, right? So actions speak loudly. Never ever forget that. You might be putting in a lot, How much are they putting in return? You might be chasing love constantly, especially if you're single and you don't have anyone around you. I will say here that express your love through actions. This is about living in love rather than living in fear. What that also means is think to yourself, okay, if I'm chasing someone, am I doing it out of love for myself, or am I doing it out of fear that I'm going to lose that person, and I'm doing it out of desperation? Is it out of desire or desperation? Ask your heart, right? Does it make you feel good that you're chasing, or does it make you feel really not good, right? Really, really important to look at actions and look at how someone is treating you, because I feel like that is going to be the biggest thing you're going to look at for the rest of 2020. You're going to look at how people treat you, and that is what you're going to go based off of. You're not going to go based off of, oh yeah, that person said X, Y, and Z to me, but then they did the complete opposite. Actions speak louder than words. And also, if someone is contradicting what they're saying, so for example, they say like, oh yeah, we should do this, and then they do the complete opposite, that's also something to keep in mind. That's going to free you in many ways. It's going to make you understand someone's character a lot more, because you might be dealing with difficult people. And I think that you're going to click the best with people, or a person specifically, who understands you, understands exactly what it is that you need and you want. I've spent so much time talking about this card, but I want to grab a couple more from the deck as well. I love this deck so much. This is the Whispers of Love, for those of you that are wondering. I just actually purchased this. I went to Waterstones and I purchased it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, yes. I just looked at the back of the box, which by the way I still have here, even though I have used these cards before, and I just looked at the illustrations. I mean, when you see that on a shelf, it's rather beautiful, rather beautiful. And then I looked at the back of it and I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, so we've got here, practice compassion. Okay, see things from a fresh perspective. Now, for what I see for many of you is that you may be really just judging the situation for what it is. So if you are in a relationship or you are speaking to someone, you're going to start to see their patterns. You're going to start to see how consistent they are, rather than just judging them for what they say. You're also going to look at how they treat others, how they are just in terms of ambition and things like that, and what they say versus what they do. You're going to pay attention to that, because I feel like for a lot of you, consistency is so important. So you want to attract someone who is consistent, and for some of you, you'll start to pay attention to that a lot more. That's what I see. And then for others of you, you might release that, okay? So just note that there is a double message coming through. You may keep it. For a lot of you, I see here you releasing. So it says here, practice compassion. See things from a fresh perspective. See things from an outside perspective as well, right? Don't just hold on to someone because you're lonely or that you're codependent. This is really about finding the right thing for yourself, and also practicing compassion with yourself, and having that enough, self-love to say to yourself, like, no, I don't need this kind of person in my life. I'll be lonely, it's okay, but I don't need you. You know what I mean? That's really interesting, that message. And also, I think that sometimes also talking to friends or talking to someone from the outside can really help you to see exactly what you're dealing with. Now, we've also got here, choose love, right? So I did say live in love rather than fear. What I see coming towards you is definitely true love, okay? So if you've been stuck in a situation where you're constantly wondering, like, why is this person saying one thing, doing another, or why is love just not coming in my life and I want it so desperately? Remember, it's not about desperation. It's just about having that desire and knowing what is right for you that causes you to really attract the right thing for you, rather than holding on to whatever comes your way or holding on to situations that don't serve you, for example. So definitely see here, right? It says here, you always have choice. Make yours with love. Make yours with love to yourself, okay? If you have to chase someone who's not showing you that interest, just know that someone better is going to come along, and someone who is going to make that choice to the level that you make that choice. You got to practice compassion towards yourself as well. I really do feel that here, because so long as you're not practicing compassion towards yourself, you can feel a little bit left out. You can feel a little bit like, oh, when's it going to happen for me? Is it going to happen for me? Choose love. Choose love towards yourself. And I'm not just saying like, oh yeah, there's that person that you're interested in and you really love that person. That person could be more out of attachment than actual true love. There's a difference between, the idea of someone and actually you loving that person. So it's always good to differentiate, but it's also important to choose yourself in the process, right? How are you being treated? How is this person treating you? What do they give to you? And what do they put on the table for you versus what you're always getting out of the situation, if you know what I mean. So love is coming your way, okay? If you choose to release love, there's new love coming your way. If you're single, there's new love coming your way, so long as you choose yourself. Otherwise, what can happen, okay, is that if you don't do that inner work within yourself, what you can end up doing is attracting the exact same kind of person or energy back into your life, because the universe is trying to teach you. So it's really important to note that. So you have like a double energy here, where if you do the work within yourself, and if you're not, for example, choosing fear over love, then you can attract wonderful love. Wonderful love. So judgment here, you've got a decision to make. Okay, are you going to hold on to what already is, or are you going to really choose yourself? So what I mean by this is, are you going to always choose other people over yourself? Because I see a lot of you are choosing others over yourself. You're asking the question, will they like me? How do they find me? How do they feel about me? But you're not asking yourself the question, do I like them? And that's a big lesson here for so many of you for the end of 2020 is, do you like this person? Do you look at the red flags and sort of paint it away a little bit, right? Or do you accept those red flags and act on them? You got to choose yourself. You got to choose love. You got to choose what is necessary for you. If you want a relationship and someone says, oh, I'm not really ready, and then you continuously chase them, that's you ignoring a red flag. That's you ignoring yourself and your intuition and what you truly want. Remember, right? So, some people want to wait and they want to see change and things like that, and that's their choice. And for some people, it works out. For some people, it doesn't. But you have to choose yourself, and you have to make that judgment call for yourself. This is about transformation, So are you going to stay stuck in the cycle, or are you going to break it? Because many of you have the opportunity to break out of this cycle, which, by the way, is great. You have to look at patterns as well, and also patterns within yourself. If you're attracting the same kind of person into your life, you have to find a way to also break that cycle. And a lot of it comes from inner work. So that's really interesting. Your spirit guides and your angels are really, truly trying to be there for you. So you can pray to them. There's a card that literally fell on my foot, and it's balancing so perfectly on my foot. I wish I could show you, but it's a little bit impossible. And that card is the Knight of Cups. How interesting. How interesting. So let's grab another couple of cards and see what's coming through. You've got the Ten of Swords here as well. See, this is about ending cycles, not feeling too much more pain. A lot of you are releasing something from the past, or you're releasing something that may be current that you're just not sure about, and you feel like you may be forcing things. And I feel like a lot of you here are starting to see patterns. I feel like when you step out of the picture here, right? When you step out of the picture, or you ask others for advice, you start to see the real what do you call it? The real scenery, and it's starting to not look as pretty as you perhaps thought it was. Knight of Cups here shows new love coming in, so if you choose to release this situation that is not serving you, new love will come in. See that there with the Knight of Cups. It was on my foot, okay, which means that I feel like this person would kiss the ground that you would walk on. They would appreciate you so much. They would be in complete awe of you. Just like how you might be in awe of other people, or, like, for example, when you get a crush on someone, how you're like, oh my God, like, oh my gosh, I would just like do anything, it's that kind of energy where they would do that for you. And I think that that's so, so lovely. I mean, imagine having that kind of energy. So that's what can come in. If you choose it. Remember, if you choose it. Let me see. Go with this one, okay? Queen of Pentacles, yeah. Look, see, this is you not having to constantly go up, like, above and beyond, okay? Because a lot of you have gone above and beyond for a certain person. It's like you're constantly putting yourself out there. You're constantly having to do so much. You're constantly having to prove yourself. When you're a queen or a king, okay, but whether you're male or female, it doesn't really matter, because that's your energy anyways, with this queen. So whether you are a male or female, it doesn't matter, this is your message. You don't have to always prove yourself. You just don't. The other person will understand you regardless, and will go above and beyond to also understand you. And you will also go above and beyond to understand them. It's mutual and it's equal, right? So the Eight of Pentacles shows inner work. If you do this inner work, this new person comes into your life to bless you with their love, and you can also bless them with your love. It's equal and it's mutual. And I do feel here that many of you are sort of in that phase of like, should I let this go? Should I move on? Should I stay? Is this person right for me? And I just feel here that you will you will find an answer, and you will do so when it's the right time for you. I just feel that any time between now and the end of the year, you will make that decision, and I feel many of you will start to gain an idea into sort of patterns, behaviors, and actions of this person that will make you sort of think like, okay, I'm not really sure if this is the right thing for me, so maybe it's time to move forward and let go and to choose myself for once, because I see a lot of you choosing other people constantly but really neglecting yourself in the process. And again, you may be ignoring red flags and just trying to always hold on so tight. Some of you may find it so hard to attract relationships in your life that when you finally do and someone shows you interest, it's like you just can't, you can't let go, and you will just, perhaps for some of you also, you will just kind of let that person tread all over your boundaries, and you will just like lower your standards just so that you can keep this person in your life. And that also is not the right thing to do, of course, we know that. But let's have a look with your charms and see what's coming through. Okay, so from now to the end of the year, I really do see here that it really is about considering, okay, what this person brings to you, looking at their patterns, looking at their consistency. This is also about working from within yourself as well to recognize those patterns, perhaps asking friends, looking at the bigger picture, practicing compassion with yourself, choosing love over fear, and also judging the situation in that sense, where if you feel like something's wrong, that you take action on it, especially if you see red flags and things like that. And also for a lot of you, you may choose to let go, move forward, move on, and that can also bring in new love as well, as we have seen. Okay, so that was just a little summary at the end. So we're going to go with the charms. Okay, so I am going to just reach over and get the top. Oh, we got so many charms. I'm quite excited about this actually. Okay, so I will hold them up much closer. So we've got here the I, right? This is about choosing yourself. I. It can be seen sometimes as a really selfish thing, but I wouldn't say that, because I feel like you deserve to put yourself first for once. You're always putting other people first. So this is a time now, between now and the end of the year, to put yourself first, to realize what it is that you deserve, what you need, and what is important for you. You've also got a G here as well. What's really interesting is that you've got IG. IG also stands for Instagram, so for some of you that may have more of a personal meaning in that sense. Perhaps you're always on Instagram looking at this person's stuff, or there's something to do with Instagram here. So, but this can also be initials of your name, or their name as well. So but the I also represents here very much so yourself. You've got here, interestingly enough, like the only like non sort of charm related, aside from these two item, which is the green crystal. This really does represent the heart chakra. So this is about opening yourself up to love, opening yourself up to the divine, opening up yourself to your highest self, and not diminishing yourself at all in that sense. So I think that that's obviously really important. You've also got the Libra charm as well. So what I see here is that you might be a Libra, or you might have a Libra coming in for you, which I think is really interesting. Still, there's some kind of Libra energy that I'm really picking up on. This is also about balance as well, making sure that if you're putting something on one side of the scale, that someone else here is able to put just as much on the other side. And if they're not, you have to question and ask yourself, why? Why are you not able to do that, right? So you also got the cat here as well, which is interesting. Some of you may have some kitty cats, but I also see here this is really about personality. It's about knowing and owning your own personality, owning yourself as well. Some of you might just be really tired. We know cats just kind of fall asleep wherever and however they want. You might just be kind of tired, and you might just be really always drained around this person, because you're always like going 24/7. 100 miles per hour in your mind. Perhaps even 24/7. So we've also got here the charm of the dog. It's interesting, we've got some animal energies. This is actually about loyalty, right? So you may feel like out of loyalty that you have to stick by this person's side. Not always is that the case. Think about if this person is stuck by your side. In loyalty, you have to trust these patterns. You've also got the dragonfly as well. So dragonfly really does indicate hope, and also indicates something kind of out of the blue, which is quite interesting. You've also got here the sun as well, which I think is quite interesting. The sun here is about growth, right? Personal growth and development. You've also got here the lotus, which is about prosperity and abundance. So you have something really strong coming your way. Your good karma has definitely accumulated here through whatever this situation is. Even if you've been single completely, your good karma has accumulated to the point where you will be blessed. Okay, you'll be blessed with a new love coming your way. I also feel here that you've got here, wow, It's really nice. You've got the charm with the 4-leaf clover, so that's really good luck. You've also got here, it's like, oh, I forgot this sport. I really forgot this sport, but this may mean something quite strong to some of you. Basically, this is about being a good sport at the same time and a team player. You want someone who's on your team, not against your team, right? So imagine choosing a player on your team. Do you want this person to be on your team, right? You want your lover to be on the same team as you, not always opposing you, right? And I think that's a really important message here for many of you is, do you always feel like you're against this person? Because that's not a team player and that's not a lover, right? Love is about teamwork. It's about being on the same team. So that's something really important to consider. That sport could mean something more special or specific to you. Your angels and your spirit guides are truly with you. As we see also, by the way, with the Judgment card, right? The angels are there with you. Pray to them. Ask them for guidance. Ask them for advice. We've also got here, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. That could really mean something quite strong to you. I was actually singing this song a little while ago. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Okay, so we've got here, the love between mother and daughter is forever. Some of you might be going to a motherly figure and asking them for advice on this particular situation. You might be seeking that from, you know, someone that feels like a mother as well, because some of you may not, you know, for example, have your mother around you, but someone that feels like a nurturing, kind, caring, sort of motherly figure. And some of you may also not get along so well with your mother in that sense. So, you know, for example, I know it says their mother, and for many of you can be you going to your mother, but for some of you who don't have mothers or you're not so close to your mother, this is someone else that feels like a mother, okay? So just want to clarify that as well. You've got here, every journey starts with one step, okay, and that's true. It all starts with one step, and sometimes that step is you just taking a step back out of the situation to look at the bigger picture. You've also got here the kangaroo. That could be something to do with Australia there, but this is also about protection, right? You've got that little the little kangaroo as well in the pouch, so that also is just that sense of protection. Again, that motherly energy is coming through here. For what I see here, some of you might also be really trying to heal a relationship between you and your mother, and that can also affect your future relationships in terms of love, because what they do say is that love can also mirror the relationships that you've had with your parents, for example. So I do see that that could be something that needs to be healed here for some of you in order for that to also progress here in terms of actual love. But I do see here support in that sense of like a motherly energy. We've got some wings here as well. So you've got wings here, you've got wings also here as well, okay? So your spirit guides are protecting you, also your ancestors as well. You've got Saturn, okay? It's quite karmic in that sense. I feel like there's a lesson that you really had to learn here, and that lesson is really about putting yourself first and realizing that you are very, very unique, especially with a starfish. You've also got this little like this reminds me of the settings app on the phone, right, where it's got this sort of wheel. This is also like the mechanics of things as well, like engineering. And to be honest, I really do feel that this is about like getting the wheel sort of like in motion and engineering your life at the same time, like letting things go back. Sometimes you just have to play around with the settings in life to like, you know, figure out like, okay, is this what I want? Is this what I want? And sort of letting things come together. You've also got here the sort of cowrie shell as well. Very lucky. Then you've got the flower here, which signifies bloom and growth, and you've also got as well the star again. So to me, these you know, the starfish and the star, it represents hope. It represents things getting much, much better. You've also got the key here as well. So to me, I definitely feel like you want strong love to the level of commitment. You want someone to put you first. You want someone to prioritize you. You don't want to feel like a second choice or an option. You want to feel heard, you want to feel known, you want to feel blessed, and you want something to your level, if not higher. And so that's what I see here, you manifesting group number 1, is that from now to the end of the year, you have a lot of sort of like realizing and working through things that I'm seeing. So yeah, that's essentially what I'm seeing. And so, you know, it's really based upon that as well. So I would definitely recommend meditating on your heart chakra. Even spending time in nature can allow you to open up your heart chakra as well, as we see with the Queen of Pentacles, and it can allow you more to your needs and your desires. You might even find yourself getting turned off by certain people that you were really attracted to because of how they treat you and how they mistreat you. So that's what I'm seeing there. So now, if this reading resonates with you, please do let me know. in the description box below. Sorry, no, let me know in the comment section below. Wow. And also do check out the description box below for information on private paid readings, free reading giveaway, and of course intention items, which are on Etsy. So that is your reading group 1. I'm going to now move to group number 2. So I'm just going to take these cards away. And we shall see what's coming through for this group. Da, 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 da. Alright, so group number 2, this is your reading. I'm also going to do a charm reading as well, so definitely do stay tuned for that. I'm really excited. I love doing the charm readings. I just find that they're so, in a way, they connect so well with so many of you from what I've seen in the comments, so that's really lovely. So this is going to be from now to the end of 2020, your love life and what I see happening in that area. So if you've chosen this group, you've chosen also the blue crystal, which is so stunning. Let's just look at that. Ooh, yes. It is sparkly. Alright, so I'm just going to leave it, sorry, it's making a lot of noise, leave it like that. So you've got here the message, which you've chosen, which also has the number 11 tied to it. And it says here, look to your inner strength. You are stronger than you realize. So, wow, I see here awakenings in terms of love. I see here enlightenment in regards to love. I see here that if you have a twin flame or a soulmate who is struggling, or you're struggling to find love, it's almost like there's some form of an awakening that is happening. I also see here that, you know, number 11, it means so much in so many ways. I mean, it can also represent something quite strong in November. It also represents that you might be seeing 1111 a lot, or 111. These numbers are so strong because they are numbers of manifestation. They're fire energy numbers. Number 1 is such a strong life path number as well. And of course, you know, you've also got November as well. So that could really mean that you're finding so much inner confidence, so much inner strength, and so much inner power throughout the course of November, which I think is so interesting here as well. It's almost like, as well, the more inner strength you find, on the other hand, if you're dealing with a soulmate or a twin flame, it's like they're starting to really awaken and get shaken to their core as well. They're understanding much more of their mistakes. They're understanding how to be so much more progressive towards you, so much more what's the word, productive towards you, should I say. So it's almost like you're starting to see more of your inner confidence and your inner power, and you're not letting yourself get dictated by other people or how someone else is doing something. For example, you're not letting that affect your your emotional energy in a negative way. That's what I'm trying to say, because you know how sometimes someone might be really obsessed with someone, and then they look on social media and they see that that person is just like, you know, doing whatever, or they're hanging out with someone else, and it's like it just affects that person throughout the entire day. I don't see that happening to you, basically. I see you feeling really good about yourself. So if you are really crushing on someone, or you really like someone but they're just being difficult right now, I see that not affecting your energy too much going forward. Okay, so I just want to say that it's really about your inner strength. You're finding so much confidence. You're like, look at me, look at you, look at me, look at you. Not to quote Blackpink, but the How You Like That song. If you haven't seen it, my god, that is powerful. It is, you know, look at me, now look at you. Look at me, now look at you. But not in a like narcissistic way. It's kind of like, you know, you do so much, or you try so much, and it's like, finally, okay, I found myself. You know, I have power, I have confidence, I have strength. Like, look at me. Okay, so we've also got here the message. Oh wow, we got another repeating number. We got 33 at the top there. So it says here, appreciate this moment. Every situation is an opportunity to grow and find love. So have you noticed how this person here is looking into this crystal ball, and this person here is looking into this? It's not really an oyster, it's something, and it's pretty magical. So here you are really looking at yourself and essentially analysing what it is that you want. You're finding your inner strengths, and what I will say is that when you find your inner strength and you awaken to such a high degree, you'll find sometimes that you outgrow you outgrow things that you once thought you really wanted. And this can also be certain people as well. So don't be surprised if you suddenly find yourself feeling like, oh my God, did I just outgrow this person that I thought I would have such a huge interest in? Did I really just outdo that? And it's so, so true, right? And I really see you doing that here. 33, it's also quite a karmic number. So this really here is a lesson from the universe telling you that from now to the end of the year, you're finding yourself. And when you find yourself, you will realize that you will not settle for certain things that perhaps in the past you would have wanted to settle for. So what I see here, this is impacting your love life a lot, because for some of you, you might think to yourself, wait a second, I'm so strong, I'm so confident. Why am I settling for this person who doesn't want to message me or text me? Or why am I waiting for someone who's ghosted me? Why am I waiting for someone who doesn't want a relationship with me? And I deserve one. Hello. It's that kind of energy. And you're just like, wait a second, I'm so strong, I'm so confident. My worth doesn't depend on you. This is you making those kinds of choices. And in the end, this is about you really doing the best for you. And the universe loves that, okay? What you have to do is call the universe and be like, hey, look, universe, okay, I have really worked on myself. Dial 111. Oh, 111, by the way, don't actually do that, because 111 in the UK is for the National Health Service. Anyways, so I don't think anyone actually will dial 111, but you know what I mean. Anyways, so this is about you picking up the phone and saying to the universe, I've really found myself. I found my strength and my confidence. I would like to place an order for love that makes me feel strong, that makes me feel good, that prioritizes me, puts me in a good place and supports me and is communicative with me. Thanks, universe. Okay, so it's really about speaking to the universe as well and telling the universe what it is that you want without holding on to the wrong thing. And I see this so often, you guys. When you are manifesting, if you have someone who is not giving you what you want, and then you go to the universe and you just manifest, say for example, I want true love, I want happiness, I want confidence, I want to feel special, and I want to feel truly loved. If you're holding on to someone who's not giving you that, the universe is going to get really confused, and then you wonder why nothing is really happening. So you have to be quite specific in that sense, right? And you have to also show the universe that you know yourself. So, so important, okay? And so we've got here number 36. This is turn on your heart light, okay? Reflect on a time when you experienced love. This is also about yourself, okay? Self-love, confidence. When did you feel really uplifted by yourself, within yourself, perhaps around family? When was it that you experienced that? And perhaps you experienced it with someone, right? But you have to also look at the bigger picture. You have to look at the full picture. You have to also sometimes look at things from the outside looking in, to understand whether it really serves you or not. Basically, what I see here is that true love will come to you once you're able to get the full picture of what you deserve. That's it. When you know what you deserve in life, you will start to make bigger choices from your heart space that is not going to go against what your true desire actually is. Because you might think like, oh yeah, but I really like that guy. But is that guy giving you what your true heart and soul needs? That's the question you have to ask yourself, and that's what I see here, which is really important. I was going to say something else and I kind of forgot, but let's go with tarot and maybe that thought will come back around. I see a lot of spiritual energy here, okay? So I see a lot of awakenings within you, can be also within a twin flame or a soulmate that perhaps you are also tied to, but it comes from when your energy is awakened. Okay, when your energy is awakened to that degree where you feel strong and confident within yourself, you will just find yourself on such a high vibrational energy that you might even think to yourself like, oh, what did I see in that person? Some of you could be false twin flames where you're like, oh my God, did I think that was love? Trust me, it happens a lot, okay? So let's see what else we see is coming. Wow. This is really beautiful, I have to say, okay? I know that it may not sound beautiful, but it is beautiful. Because I said it's beautiful. Okay. You're probably thinking, Moonlight, your ego today in this reading is just a bit too much. You know what? I'm glad it is. Why? Because you deserve so much more than what I feel so many of you have been settling for. And I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you very, very truthfully because I want the best for you. And at the end of the day, okay, sometimes the things we're holding on to some of the things that we're holding on to are not necessarily the best for us. And it's hard to imagine what more could come. But that's the thing, you got to open yourself up for that to experience it. You got to connect with the universe, right? You got to call the universe as well. I'm guessing the number to the universe is probably not 111, it's probably like 1111. So anyways, so the Magician is ruled by Mercury. All right, so it's really interesting actually, because from the 14th to the 3rd of November, we've got Mercury retrograde in the sign of Scorpio and Libra. So, you know, during that time, you may find that people from your past are sort of like coming into the picture or out of the picture, or coming into your mind and out of your mind. And then that's kind of it, to be honest. We haven't got another Mercury retrograde until 2021. But I will say here, Mercury is pointing to lots of communication with other people, communication within yourself, and it's almost like you have this entire bucket of things, and you're trying to like pull apart, like, okay, all the pentacles need to go to one side, all the swords need to go to one side. You're trying to like dissect everything in that sense to understand the bigger picture. And that's what I see here, is that you're trying to understand yourself, you're trying to understand what you desire, what you deserve. You're trying to see what another person is giving you versus what they should be giving you, right? You're dissecting all of this information to see where this person is not really showing up or showing through to the level that they should be. And that's what I see here. And this is really going to be a pivotal moment where you think to yourself, oh my God, am I really settling for less, for example? So the world here is really putting yourself first. Saturn energy, which is all to do with your routine and your structure. Are you getting enough communication from this person? Is this person being upfront? Is this person being honest? Are they reliable? Are they too immature? These are all questions that I feel you're asking yourself here. Look to your inner strength. That's literally that, right? This is your inner strength. Justice. What do you deserve? What do you need versus what you want? Because anyone can say, oh yeah, I want this person. I want this in my life. But what do you need? Because you can want someone who is emotionally perhaps unavailable, but perhaps you need someone to connect to you emotionally so that they can support you, they can understand you, they have empathy. So that's what you need, right? But if you're settling for a want that is not serving you, then you're not really going to get what you need. So you have to also look at things, I think, from that perspective as well. Okay, 6 of Swords there. Yeah, emotionally taking yourself to a better place. And then also you've got here the 2 of Swords. So the 2 of Swords is indecisiveness. You may feel indecisive. You may feel like, oh yeah, but what if this person changes? What if this person wants to... what if this person grows over time and is more of what I want them to be? And you can give them that time if you feel is necessary. But I also feel here that this indecision can keep you stuck in a place, especially if you feel very, very high highs and very, very low lows. It can keep you stuck in this place where you're just not able to move forward, right? And that can also delay things coming in from the universe. So what's really important here is the fact that you have to really communicate your needs to yourself, the universe, and to others around you. You have to enforce those boundaries. The World card here is literally about boundaries. The Justice card is about what you need versus what you want. It's also about karma as well. Okay, and we know the number 3 is linked to karma. So remember, you really have to look at what it is that you truly deserve, and that is justice, right? You want the universe to serve you justice rather than continuously just serve you things that just don't make you feel good. And I also feel here that some of you might be dealing with a karmic situation currently, okay? So that's just coming through with justice. And the World card here really is about looking inwards into yourself and realizing that you've got that balance and you've got so much going in or going towards yourself that can really allow things to progress. The last thing I want to mention here before we do the charm reading is that we have got this blue crystal which represents the throat chakra. You have also got here the Magician, and Magician's all about communication as well. So a lot of you are communicating outwards from now to the end of the year to other people, and you're telling them like, you know what, I don't like how you've treated me, or I don't really like how you said this to me, or I don't really like how this has happened or that's happened, and you're communicating your needs to this person. And I will tell you one thing, remember, voicing your needs or voicing your feelings in a connection will never ruin a real connection. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say, is that when you voice what is truly important to you, it's never going to ruin something that's real. So just want to say that, okay, don't be afraid. So many people are very afraid because they're like, I don't want to push that person away, but that's not the point, right? You have to really voice yourself from time to time. Otherwise, you're going to suppress a lot of your emotions and you're going to get frustrated in the long term. And it only gives you more resentment, more anger, and more frustration over the long haul, which is so damaging to your own personal emotional energy. Because if you're just like waiting and you're like, oh, I'll say it eventually, you know, when I get the chance, it's worse. And sometimes you might even think to yourself, I should have just said that from the beginning, so I would have avoided all of this other stuff. Okay, so it's just something that I'm seeing here, but I just feel that you're understanding so much more of your own personal wants and needs, and a lot of you are still feeling very indecisive as the choices you want to make. Ultimately, I see you choosing yourself with the Six of Swords and really moving to a place of power within yourself and literally saying to yourself, oh, I have to put myself first. Okay, so let's go to the charm reading now, which I think would be very interesting. Okay, so we've got here the initials H, R, so this can be your name, it could be another person's name, A, you've got here love, okay, so love can be incoming. You've got here a cowrie shell, which is quite lucky as well. This is really interesting. We got the crystal that actually came out in group number 1 as well. It's the exact same one. And my charm box is pretty big. I'll just show you. Like, look, there's a lot of stuff in there, and it's pretty, like, it's very deep as well. So the fact that you've got sort of like the same thing again come through in that sense is pretty significant. So this really represents here your heart chakra opening up, which is something we already sort of discussed as well, is that I really do feel here that meditating on your heart chakra and also your throat chakra can really help you to focus so much more on your own personal energy. I also realized that when we look at the word heart, we've got the H, the R, and the A as well. So that's quite interesting. We've also got here the dog, which symbolizes loyalty. So you may feel like you have a loyalty to certain people, but do they have a loyalty to you? What's really important is to know that things have to be mutual and equal, especially with this Gemini charm, right? This is about that twin energy. What you have on one side, you have on the other side. So it's also important to make sure in love that, you know, you are getting some form of like a mutual energy coming back to you as well, and it's not just all completely one-sided. You've also got here the love heart, and notice how this love is like half full. So you may feel like this is like half. It's not complete or full love. You may feel like it's just half there, which can feel really frustrating. You might feel like, oh, it's, you know, it will get to that point of being full, but you have to also look at what you're getting completely. Okay, and for some of you it's not serving you. You've also got the swan here as well, and look at this swan, it's like spreading its wings, which I think is really interesting. You've got another wing here as well, so it's almost like you're finding your wings, you're finding yourself, and you're growing and flourishing in your own personal energy, and really just growing and getting to that point where you feel strong, happy, content in your own personal sense of self, and you're finding yourself to the highest degree. That's literally what I see here as well, which I think is really important. You've also got the key as well. Now this key here, shell energy as well. That could mean something quite strong to you. I mean, we do have a shell in this card, right? Right there. So there could be something to do with a shell that means something to you, but we've also got these other love hearts as well. So you've got this one here which says the love between mother and daughter is forever. Now this is really interesting because this could also mean that you are essentially sort of like forgiving and learning from your parents, for example, and you're trying to heal bonds between them, or you're trying to ask them for advice or feedback. But specifically, you know, we do have this sort of mother-daughter energy. I will say that, you know, especially if you are a male watching this, this can also be between like mother and son. But what I see here is that this is also about healing those particular bonds as well, because that can also affect your love life, believe it or not. Okay, when you have unhealed bonds from childhood, right, it can really affect the way that your love life also progresses. And that's something really interesting with psychology. You'll find, especially for those of you that do therapy, you'll find that, you know, people talk a lot about, you know, your inner child and trauma, and, you know, a lot of these things come through, and it's like, whoa, you know, I never had a clue about that, but it's so true. So a lot of the times that comes through, and I do feel here that there's that energy coming through, so you might be really healing some issues there. You may also really just be talking, you know, to like a mother or a motherly figure, motherly presence. We've also got here as well, every journey starts with one step. And you've also got the love charm as well. Okay, so yeah, you may feel like right now this love is like half full and you just want it to get full and you're like, oh, just take things one step at a time, I do feel here that you're finding your wings, and once you find your wings, you might actually find that you've outgrown this love and that you want something so much bigger, that you want to manifest something so much more. But that is essentially what we do have, and I do feel that from the end of, well, from now to the end of the year, I just see you finding your wings and finding so much confidence and strength that you might actually feel like, wow, what I was dealing with was just half of what I need, not completely what I wanted, and you're understanding so much more of actually what you desire and what you need, and you're finding loyalty towards yourself, and you're communicating with yourself your true needs, and you're not just placing it all onto the hands of someone else. So group number 2, this is your reading. I really hope it helped you, gave you tons of clarity, information and knowledge, and definitely let me know in the comment section below if this resonates with you. So this is your reading. Take care, stay safe, okay? And that is pretty much what we do have. So I'm now going to move on to the next group. Actually, I'm going to leave that right there, which is group number 3. Last but never least. Let's be very honest about that. Okay. Hi group number 3, this is your reading with me for now to the end of 2020, your love life, what's it looking like, what messages I have for you. So if you've chosen this beautiful white crystal, ta-da, it's so, so beautiful. Sparklier than my mosaic apple. Just gonna say, the crystals are pretty wonderful. Oh, I just got a hair there as well. Do apologise. A bit more of my energy just coming through there. So we've got here this card which says, have patience. So it says, love is patient and kind always. Okay, so there's some kind of energy here about having patience, and you see this really pretty imagery here of this girl on the like lotus, right? So that to me really shows abundance, prosperity, and things coming together in that sense. So that's quite interesting. Let's see what other cards are coming through. By the way, I'm also going to do a charm reading as well for this reading, so do stay tuned. Okay, and I'm also going to get some oracle cards out as well, and tarot cards. So we've got a nice mixture of energies. Okay, we've got here this one which says, honesty is essential, speak with love and truth. You see how this person has a bit of a mask on here as well, which I think is quite interesting, but you've got a lot of purple as well, and this really does represent healing. So for some of you, I see healing is really necessary, because you've got purple also, as quite a strong colour in this particular card as well. As soon as you sort of dive into this particular card, the first thing that I go towards is the girl on the lotus, and it's all just quite purple around there. So to me, there's a strong energy here of healing. Some of you may be carrying amethyst or have amethyst around you. There's an energy of that definitely coming through. Also, some of you might really be into lavender during this part of the year. I mean, there's a lot of things that a lot of people are into, like around this part of the year, whether it's like pumpkin spice or mulled wine. But yeah, I'm just seeing here lavender, so that could be also in like essential oils, but amethyst, I'm seeing a lot of purple. Okay, the colour purple is really coming through quite strong. This also really does represent your third eye as well. Okay, and purple chakra. Okay, one more card. Oh, okay, we got quite a few here, but I'm going to just take these two. So we've got here, rest and relaxation is essential. Isn't it so interesting? I mentioned like lavender oil, because that is also like a huge part of rest and relaxation. A lot of people sort of like put that on their pillow or just around. But in general, what this is showing here is that we always have a fundamental need to take a break. So I do feel that you might be taking a break from relationships or dating. You might also just be sort of over it. I also see here that many of you just need a break. It's almost like you've been like either chasing, going after something, constantly wanting it, and you're just not getting the result that you are desiring. So I feel here for many of you that you just are going to take a little bit of a break somewhere, between this time. Doesn't mean that it's going to be the entire time, okay? But somewhere in between now and the end of the year, you're going to take a little bit of a break, and you're going to take some time for yourself. And also you're going to be patient with yourself here as well, and just allow things to naturally unfold as well, rather than always pushing things, because it does say here patience. Patience and waiting are two completely different things. I would like to sort of describe waiting as an energy of, like, imagine you put something in the oven, right? And then you're just like impatient sometimes, you know, where you're like, well, you're waiting essentially, and you might like keep checking on it, consistently checking on it. Patience is when you kind of just eventually know that it's going to be done, and you can come back to it after you set the timer and it's going to be cooked, hopefully, right? Or you check on it very close to the end, whilst waiting is, you know, and it's one of those things that's really hard to explain. It's a little bit like watching paint dry versus just knowing that in 10 minutes it will be dry, so you can go and do something else in that meantime. You don't have to like stare at, you know, you don't have to stare at the wall. It's that kind of energy. So there's a difference between them basically, and that's what I'm seeing here. Is I just see you having so much more patience, where you're going out there, you're doing your own thing, and you're just saying, you know what, everything will come together at the right time when it's supposed to come together. You also got here, honesty is essential, speak with love and truth. So again, this is about things coming together, progression happening as well. And also when you speak with love and truth, I really do feel here that there is this energy of you aligning so much more to yourself. What I find most interesting here is that some of you might be dealing with someone that's just really difficult to deal with. And I don't want to say that in a really bad way, but it's like every time you say something to them, you may feel like you have to walk on eggshells, and that you can't say exactly what you truly mean. Well, the spirit guides here are saying, if you feel something towards someone, it's okay to say it, because that's not going to ruin, you know, something that's real. A real connection is never brittle. A real connection is never ruined just by saying your feelings and your thoughts. So what I do feel with this particular card, and what I do think is really important, is honesty is essential. You can be honest, okay, from now until the end of the year. If someone's not treating you well, you don't have to walk on eggshells. And guess what? If that person walks away, or if that person shows you absolutely no regard and no care, that's the universe showing you that this person is not right for you. When you are constantly forcing things with someone, or you're walking on eggshells trying to say the right thing, or you're presenting yourself the kind of person to this person that you think that they would like, you're not really being yourself. And in turn, that is just not right, right? So I feel here that you're taking a break. You just want to be in your own energy. You want to recharge yourself in many ways, and you just want to be your authentic self. You don't want to mask yourself anymore. You want to be honest, and you want to be you, so that you're loved for you. You're not loved for like someone that's always walking on eggshells, and then you become a completely different person, right? So that's what I see here. Lots and lots of authenticity. You got here, love endures, love does not give up or lose faith, love is hopeful and withstands every situation. So one thing to mention with that is that most of you, a lot of you, might be waiting, right? You might be waiting for things to come your way. You might be waiting for love to come your way. Do not forget that it will come your way, okay? And I think that what's really important here is not to give up and lose faith. You might be waiting for someone here, right? I just feel here that the message says, you know, love does not give up or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. So you may be really waiting for things to improve, get better. And I see that's what you are doing here, right? Each to their own. Some people want to wait, some people don't want to wait. And if you want to wait, then that is your choice. I see here that you might be, there's a strong chance you're waiting from now to the end of the year. You're waiting for love to manifest in your life and sort of come together as well. So let's have a look at tarot. Yeah, so you're waiting for someone here. So we've got the Page of Wands. Okay, you might be waiting for someone to come out of maybe a relationship or come out of some kind of a karmic situation. The Three of Cups really is a strong, strong energy about wanting things to be synchronized and wanting there to be, you know, this happy social environment and energy between you and this other person. So you might be really, really patient. You might be like, all right, I'll wait for you to come out of that, and then you can come towards me. Again, that energy of like taking a break, taking a rest as well. The Page of Wands here is about interaction. So I do see that between you and this other person, which is quite strong. You've got the Seven of Cups here. Seven of Pentacles, perhaps always like wondering, okay, what's going to come next? How is it going to come next? I see you taking a lot of time here to like think as well. sevens in tarot show reflection. You've also got here the Three of Swords. So yeah, a lot of you are very, very frustrated, and you're frustrated because you've been waiting, or you're frustrated because you've just been thinking about an entire situation and you're wondering, like, how's that going to come together? Like, how's it going to happen? Is there someone new that's going to come? So for many of you, you might just get so frustrated that you're like, okay, I'm just going to be patient and wait for someone new to come along. I see that very much so being a possibility, a possible water sign here with the Page of Cups that can come into your life. For some of you, you're waiting for someone who is perhaps not giving you exactly what you want. I will say that the messages from the spirit guides are very, very, very significant. Be honest. And if they stick around, then they're for you. And if they don't stick around, then that's a really strong sign that maybe this person is not for you, okay? So it's just something to mention, because a lot of you are sort of also perhaps having rose-tinted glasses on, and you're really sort of making this person out to be someone more than they are in reality, and that's what fantasy tends to do. So the Seven of Pentacles is sort of looking at how you have grown, how you have evolved, and all of the things you also have to give as well. Because remember, okay, you might be with someone, or someone might come along, but what makes that connection really powerful is also what you do. So remember, if someone withdraws and they go to someone else, that person is not you. Okay, and all that energy, all that time, all that effort that you have put in, it cannot be replicated by the next person. It's going to be different completely. So it's something to also realize, is that you have your own power and your own strength, and you should never ever run away from that as well. Okay, so that's what I see here. Yeah, I see many of you like waiting here and just having that kind of energy, but also trying to have patience at the same time. It's this energy of like both of them combined. So let's go with the charms. Okay. Ooh, picture frame. Okay, that's really interesting. This could mean something to you. I think this picture frame here is for those of you that really want new love to come in. It's like you're waiting for this frame to be filled, and I do feel that it will be filled as well. Like this new person can really come in and bless you with something quite strong, and you can feel, you know, a lot of happiness in that sense as well. I also see here that you've got the crystal, which reminds me of like a teardrop. And, you know, that song, Every Teardrop is a Waterfall, really does come into my mind very, very strongly. But this is also about like a disco, and it's that energy of like a disco ball as well, which I think is really interesting. It's like you are cleansing yourself of any past hurts that have occurred, and you're using it to your strength. So you're realizing now what you truly want and what you don't want. You also got here the cat. I believe this is a cat. This is about rest, as we saw, of course. And then you've also got here the giraffe. Okay. So this is like that sort of traveling energy as well. Giraffes could mean something much more specific to you. But we've also got here, angel is watching over me. So you are being watched by your angels. You are being protected. Okay, so always remember, if like someone disappears, you know, for example, from your life, there's a reason. Okay, angels can hear conversations that you and we can't. Well, you can't hear. I can sometimes hear these conversations, but a lot of the times, you know, you can't hear these conversations. And to be honest as well, unless they tell me, I haven't heard those conversations from, you know, other people, because I'm not there. I'm not there like literally listening to someone else's conversation 24/7, right? So the thing is, they can hear these conversations. God can hear these conversations. The universe can hear these conversations. You can't. And sometimes they're protecting you from things that you don't know, right? So I think that's really important here, to know that you are being protected, even if it feels like such a loss and it feels so unfair that someone could be taken away from you, or situations are not working out the way you want to. It can feel like such a loss and such a heavy burden. But actually, sometimes it's the biggest blessing in the universe. You've got here the star-shaped green crystal. This is about opening up the heart chakra. Open yourself up to self-love. Open yourself up to love in general, right? I know this says here that love endures, but love is flowing, right? It's flowing. It's not to the point where it hurts you constantly. That's not love, right? That's toxic love. This here is about, yes, you know, being patient from time to time, but not letting someone completely walk all over you. All right, that's really important. We have also got here the blue potion with the glitter. This is about your throat chakra. This is about communicating your true needs across to someone. So what did we have here, right? Honesty is essential. Make sure you're you know, having those conversations with this person as well, and you're being open and honest, because that's just so important as well. you know, telling this person like, hey, you know, if you need commitment, make sure you do voice that across. Okay, because otherwise it can give you a sense of freedom where you can then find that with someone else. So you've got these 2 rings here because I feel like a lot of you want commitment and you might be asking for it from the wrong person, or you might be waiting so much for that to happen. And we've also got here the pink peg, and this really does represent more of that feminine energy as well. So this is really about embracing your feminine energy, even if you are a male, for example, and not being afraid of it. You've also got here the anchor as well. Sometimes you might just feel really weighed down by a specific person, place, or situation. Again, it's about sort of letting it go as well. I think that's really important. We have got the Taurus energy as well, which is quite interesting that you've got here the blue, because blue represents the throat chakra and Taurus is ruled by the throat. So that's quite fascinating to me that you have got that. You could be a Taurus, they could be a Taurus, or you or them could have Taurus in their sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign. You may also perhaps have a Taurus coming into your life. Again, sun, moon, rising, or Venus. Okay, just have to say that. You got the deer, which is quite festive in many ways, and the time of year that I'm sort of reading this about is quite interesting. There's something about December that's really coming through, so it could mean that there's new love coming through in December. You got the moon, which is about intuition. It's also about cycles and phases. Nothing is always going to stay the same, so if you're struggling right now, you're in a phase, okay? This is not a forever, this is a phase. And say that, you know, in the comment section below, this is not my forever, this is just a phase. And that can really allow you to sort of like sail through these very like stormy situations at times as well. So you've got a boat, that could mean something very specific to some of you. We've also got this charm as well. It says perhaps love, perhaps love. Okay, so some of you might be unsure as to whether this is actually real love or not, which I think is quite interesting. And I think a lot of you will find out once you really voice your truth to this person. Feather, very lucky. Okay, that's really about your angels and your guides being near you. You've also got here the rhino. I believe that's a rhino. It says the girl that used to live in Kenya. It is a rhino. It's really interesting. You've got sort of like this safari animals coming through as well. Maybe there's something to do with Africa here, or like safari energy in just general. But there's like that exotic energy coming through. We've also got an elephant as well, okay, so we've got a full-on safari happening in that corner right there. Elephant is also about like an elephant never forgets. This person that maybe you're dealing with doesn't forget. You might think that they've forgotten, but they actually don't forget, and you also don't forget here. What's really important is sort of rewiring that energy to be able to move forward. We've also got here the sun as well, so you've got the sun and the moon. See, this is also about counterparts as well, so if you feel like you've just are so hard done by life and nothing's going right, just realize that your counterpart will come. And also, again, you're in a phase, this is not your forever, so the sun will rise. The sun always rises. It's going to be okay, day and night. Something about that as well. You've got here protected, which we already know, of course, with the angel energy. And you have got also the hand, ta-da! So this is really beautiful because it just shows that you're on the right path in your life, and you know, the cycle of life and everything that happens. Oh, animals, cycle of life. Oh, that makes so much sense. Okay. Yeah, so everything is sort of happening the way it's meant to. And also, I do feel here that for many of you, you're starting to attract new love, which can come through also in 2021, like full-on strong new love. But I feel like the sort of end of this year is really more so about finding yourself. It's also about realizing that this is just a phase, not a forever, and also to communicate your true needs and wants across to other people without just assuming that they already know what you want. Okay, so that is what I'm seeing here, group number 3. Really hope this helps you. And yes, this is your reading, so definitely do take care as well. And I will see you very soon. Everything's in the description box below as always as well. All right, take care. Bye.